Hello everyone and welcome to One Take CEO Interviews. I'm Dale Kirshner. Today I'm at Northern Ingredients with the founder and CEO Bob Schafer. Tell us a little bit about how your business has been going with this COVID-19 situation. We talked about it a little bit before.
Sure.
But how have you been dealing with this?
It has actually been, we've been what I would describe as too busy. There have been a number of folks that have purchased things from us before, had us manufacture things from us before, but their incumbent supplier, because mostly what we do is we provide bakery mixes. And as you know, the bakery mix market has just gone crazy. And so some of these folks have come to us and said, my current manufacturer is saying I just am not going to get anything for a month, and then in a month they've just said you have the freedom to go have someone else make this. Mm-hmm. So for example, we run in the month of September. We ran product for a customer that we've never had before. We ran 156 hours. We ran our production line for 156 hours for just that customer.
And how have you dealt with that kind of change when it comes to your staff? I mean, what have you had to do to make sure you have the people to be able to handle that?
Well, our major concern was not to bring too many new folks into the bubble, and that was our major concern. And so when this happened, we put out a schedule of voluntary 60 hours a week. We put it out. We didn't look at who signed up for it. We didn't see who was signing up for it. And we just said, we're going to 11 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and 5 hours on Saturday. If it works for you, and there's no pressure to do this, if it works for you, sign up. If we don't get enough people to sign up, then and only then will we add to our staff. Because if in these days your childcare now is more expensive than it was, now you're actually having to pay for tutoring while your child's at daycare. Your expenses are likely going up significantly, those of you with children. So here's the opportunity for a win-win. We're not going to bring more people, and you'll have a way of paying for those extra expenses.
So how many people said, okay, I'll take you up on that?
Of our 16 production workers, on any given day in the overtime section, we had 14 of them here.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they would rotate through. But the first 2 weeks we did it, it was 100%. It was 100%. But then life got in the way.
Yeah.
So it was very gratifying. And we're still operating. Now operating only 50 hours, and we have the same production. So it's amazing. It's really been amazing.
Of course, you're known for having a pretty strong culture here too. The Family Business Award
Yes.
that you received previously. But people might be wondering, why are we sitting in what looks like a bowling alley? Because there's the bowling alley there, and then back there's kind of a bar area. So
Right.
Can you tell people a little bit about this, that we are actually at your place of work?
We bought this building 10 years ago, and when we bought this building, one of my great dreams was to have a meal together every day. And so in order to do that, we needed to create a space for that. And so we had, times were bad. It was 2010 when the housing was still being a problem. So we had construction workers available that had all kinds of skills. And so as we built our kitchen in our break room, we found a welder. And so this room underneath it has 4,000 welds in a 130-foot long I-beam that comes directly underneath me. And so I figured, as long as we're going to do something like that, and our people did all this renovation, let's build something that's fun for them.
Yeah.
And so about once a month, every other week, something like that, during non-COVID days, we have a separate entrance. You park in the parking lot and come in through the dock door. It's all fenced. You have a key, a security code. Bring your family and have a birthday party, have an anniversary, have a graduation. Have whatever you want. And so they built it, and so so it was just something that everybody thought would be fun. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, and it's used quite a bit then, even
It
with
is.
COVID.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, not so much now with COVID.
Yeah.
No, because the parties are usually more than 25 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it hasn't been, but we use it now for training. We have the big screen TV, and so we had training here have training every month. So,
Okay.
Yeah. It'll come back. It'll come back.
Speaking of coming back,
Yes.
did you lose some businesses too, some business
Yes.
to COVID-19, and how are you dealing with that? And I guess the question would be, if you've seen an increase in demand in other areas, how are you going to pick that back up again when some of those people come back, if they do?
We're, unfortunately, what we've had to do because we are so much busier is we've had to increase our minimums in many cases, and we've had to offer less delivery service and a little less personal service than we may have in the past. But it's only for the greater good, because we have this company with hundreds of employees that need us to do this manufacturing for them. And so there have been, it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to tell someone who's been with you for a long time that you're going to need a larger order in order to receive delivery. But fortunately, we have a number of cartage companies that we can deal with who have been able to pick up the strain, or we allow our customers to come and pick up one of their own trucks, and they've been happy to do that.
And tell us a little bit about how many employees you have and what all is involved here, because there are the people here.
Yes.
But then, what else?
Well, we have 38 people, half of which make our bakery mixes, our actual pancake mixes and brownie mixes and things of that nature. The reason that we have that business is that our primary business is selling ingredients. And so we do 150 million pounds a year of bakery flour, sugar, salt, sesame seeds, things of that nature. So we do 150 million pounds. Our largest customers have been having difficult times finding folks to make their small batches of things. And so then we bought this bakery mix company so that we could retain our current, our long-term customers as they make the change from being able to find someone to come and do these small things to where we make premixes exactly the size of their batches, And so the genesis of that, was really saving and protecting, the long-term business that we have. So whereas our packaging company is only 25 million pounds, our overall operation is 150. So we're doing the 25 million to protect the other 125 million and the long-term customers. But then, what we do for them though is we have adapted our company to what we see that our people need, that our folks need. So we have a Cobb website, because our business, doesn't come to us, electronically or whatnot. But really, what we talk about is that we stock what you need. So the basic how the business operates is under a scheme called TINSV. There is no substitute for inventory. So the lead times on ingredients are extended greatly. An item that we always keep in stock for a bagel manufacturer that we supply, we were informed it's normally a 6-week lead time. We were informed today that it's a 10-week lead time. And so we always keep a month on hand of every ingredient that any of our customers need because they don't have warehouses big enough. Yeah, they just simply can't do that. And many of the manufacturers now with COVID will no longer sell anything other than full trailer loads because their docks are just simply too busy that you can't bring in, 2 pallets, 4 pallets, 10 pallets. You have to come and pick up 20 pallets at a time. And so we've been fortunate that have the space, to have the space by design and to have the long-term vendor relationships that we're just able to adapt and we've maintained sufficient working capital and sufficient credit so that when we all of a sudden make an order that's 3 times larger, instead of a $70,000 order, it's a $200,000 order, that our customer just accepts that purchase order.
Yeah, and I think another thing that would be fun for you to share with people is where you're at with cash and debt, and how did you get here?
Well, I've started the company in 1991 and have been through 3 recessions. Okay, now the fourth, and more than ever have just learned that cash is king. And so, folks talk about knowing what your break even is. Okay, well, if you have in essence no fixed cost from debt. Okay, if you're not paying for your trucks, if you're not paying your trailers, your forklifts, your pallet racking, your building, if you have no monthly payments of any kind, your break even is unbelievably low. And so when I started this business, the idea was that we only would grow as quickly as we can internally generate the cash to grow. When we bought this building, we had 3 semis. Today we have 10. And so none of them were financed. None of the trailers that go with them were financed. None of the forklifts are financed. As we have the cash, we buy another one. And number 11 is coming in 2 weeks. So it's just as you grow that's been one of the secret ingredients is no debt.
Yeah.
No debt. Yeah.
A lot of businesses are about growing.
Yes.
And getting to the point where they're acquired or
Yes.
they go public.
Right.
What is your goal for this business?
This is a family business. And so my goal is that my daughter and my nephews will choose what to do with it when it is theirs. And so I don't think that they would be interested in having another one of these in Kansas City. I don't think they would want one in Chicago. I think that they want a lifestyle as much as I do, where there's no second shift, there's no weekends, there's no third shift. We've been offered business lately where immediately we could have had a second and third shift in these times, but the 4 of us, including my wife who does HR and our hiring here, all 4 of them, all said, why would we want to do that? Why would we want to operate around the clock? I mean, we have lifestyles that we're comfortable with. So, but if you're not growing, you're dying, and so we will grow organically as we generate the capital to do that.
So you have your wife, 2 nephews,
and my daughter,
and your daughter.
Yes, yeah. Yes, and then another owner who has been here since 1999, who is 12 days younger than me, and plans to stay until he's 70. As I do. I mean, because today there's with COVID, uncomfortable getting on a plane. Uncomfortable. Even if the theaters were open, if Ordway was open, uncomfortable going, doing that. Yeah. And so one needs something to do. So since we've grown, we've dramatically increased the wages of our production staff. Compared to 10 years ago, all of them make at least twice what they used to make when we bought the company, and I know of no company that can say that.
Right.
But we've done that because we have low overhead, and because they sign up and work 60 hours, they make that possible. Because without them, we're nothing.
You talk with a lot of folks.
Yes.
You're still, even though we can't see each other
Yes.
as much as we used to.
Right.
Based on everything you're hearing, it sounds like things are going pretty well for you, but we know that for other businesses, it's not going as well. Any tips for some of those who are struggling right now in terms of what you've gone through with these previous recessions and things you've learned along the way? Any tips to share with others?
Well, when there were tough times, one of the things that the first thing that I did in those occasions, and the businesses that I've seen, the most successful ones, immediately evaluated their cash flow. They immediately evaluated what do the next 3 months look like? What do the next 4 months look like? What is our availability of working capital? I mean, right. Is there something that we can do to change that? Because one of my customers declared bankruptcy about 12 years ago as Chapter 11, and at the time they they owed us $1 million. And so they also were not able to stay in business because we're a bakery business. The flour company would no longer deliver them flour. So in a case like that, our customer had to figure out, what do I do? So one of the things that he did, he went to, and he's still in business now. I mean, he recovered fully, and he's larger than he was, at the time. He went to his customers and said, hey, this is a temporary thing. What I need from you, though, I need to accelerate my cash flow. So rather than have you pay me in 30 days, I'm sorry to say this to you, but really, I really need to be paid in 10 days, because what I need to do is make the product for you. I need to have no outlay of capital required. So that way I can pay my payroll, I can pay for all of my ingredients, and I could stay in business.
And that worked.
Yes, it did. Absolutely. There was 280 jobs saved.
Wow. And now, Did he file Chapter 11 and then do that, or did he avoid Chapter 11 by
No, he actually went into Chapter 11, which was why is why then all of a sudden the vendors just, the current vendors just kind of shut him off, because, well, how do I get paid for what you already owe me? I don't want to go in any deeper. So, and then the other thing, though, is to just look at the parts of business that you have and evaluate each one. During the good times, there's pieces of business that you can hang on to that maybe don't cash flow. And so you have to make sometimes some hard decisions on, you look at McDonald's, for example, right now. How much business do they do at night from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock or 10? They just made the decision that, you know what, those hours don't pay. Those hours don't pay. So they've cut their hours. So you have to look at every hour and everything that you do and say, does it produce anything? Does it produce anything? Or have we just had it there for the convenience of if someone else would go somewhere else rather than us, but can we afford that anymore? So really it's look at what you do. Look at what you do, and then do everything that you can to conserve and generate cash. Yeah.
That sounds good. Are there any questions I should have asked you today that I didn't ask?
You should have asked me what it is that I'm the most concerned about, which is retention. I'm the most concerned about keeping our business family intact. I'm most concerned about making sure that our members, our family members, are comfortable and confident that there is a position here for them and a paycheck coming tomorrow. And what are we doing? What are we doing to do that? And so, so part of the reason that, that with this 60 hours is, now I'm here before our people every day. And I thank each one of them for coming. I'm here until I lock the door now. I open the door and I lock the door now. And so it's really keeping our folks calm and having them know that there's security here and that we can't do without you and that we're appreciated. Yeah.
And how much of that is what you're doing versus what's going on elsewhere in the world? I mean, some of the other CEOs I've been talking with say the stress with everything going on with COVID and the economy and everything else. Sometimes their employees come to work and they find they're a little shorter or a little more distracted than usual. And are you seeing that at all?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely we are. They're very, very nervous. But that is all the more reason that what we do then and now we celebrate little things. We're every birthday now at break now, we're bringing in cookies, or we're having a Dairy Queen ice cream cake or something just to put some levity back into it. We've had to stagger our breaks and stagger our lunches, but we make sure that management has split, also, so that we're there and that we're having our lunch and that we're laughing. We're making fun of each other like we do as a family, saying, oh, I know what you did this weekend. And so it's important to keep the morale up. It's important to do things that seem silly and bring in little orange fruits for people to have, and have Yarritos pop, one time a week, and just do little things like that to laugh and share good times. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Given that you are doing that, why do you still worry about retention? It sounds like it's a wonderful place to work with everything that you're doing, the bowling alley, I mean, everything. So what are you still concerned about?
Well, I'm concerned that what's happening, what I'm hearing from other folks, is that to compensate for the $600 a week that we had for all those months, and that all of a sudden, with the increased costs of daycare, that other employers are having to increase wages dramatically to fill positions, because there are so many other costs for their people that the only way that they can bring people back to work, where daycare doesn't cost what daycare used to be, that the bar, I think, has been raised, the bar of kind of the number that it used to take. And you can kind of look at that, and you can see that a little bit in some of this recent unionization that has happened, at the Drive at Surly, the Fair State Brewing Company, the Tattersall. You can sort of see and you can hear, what folks feel it requires to keep them comfortable and keep them coming to work. And so I just don't want to, for something trivial, what we deem to be trivial, I don't want our folks to leave, for some trivial amount of money. I want them to talk to us about it if they're having those feelings, and just be more accessible. And because I think there has been a little bit of move, in that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like money isn't enough anymore.
Correct.
Or it isn't the only thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. No, very much so. Very much so. And so it is. So that. And I think any time that you become complacent, and when you really do believe that we're nothing without them, when you really believe that, have your actions reflect that. Have your actions show yes, and show every day and demonstrate it. Thanks for coming. Sure appreciate it. Can't do it without you. And it's amazing how how important that is. It's amazing how important it is to be recognized and thanked, and have So very proud to do it. Actually, very proud to do it.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Bob, thank you so much for your time today.
Sure, my pleasure. And again, thanks for asking.